Welcome to this week's edition of Tigers Roar. I'm Tommy Chrysan from Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge. We're ready to spread the roar for the biggest game ever in Baton Rouge, in my opinion, with number 3 LSU, thanks to the College Football Playoff Committee, number 1 Alabama, 7 o'clock Saturday night. We've been slicing it up, dicing it up all week on the radio, and now we're going to do it tonight on Tigers Roar. We'll hear from Coach Ed Orgeron. We've got several Tiger players, and we will hear from Little Nicky, as I call him, or Nick Saban. Love-hate with Saban in Baton Rouge has never ended. Tonight, on this week's edition of Tigers Roar, is the debut of a legend from the Southeastern TV channel from Bright Playground, Jonathan Poche. He's been a part of the Pelican team for many, many years now. He's done radio work. He's done a lot of other work regarding TV, radio, other things that we do. And with Jordy Hultberg having to go trick-or-treating tonight, we've got Jonathan Poche, who's filling in. Jonathan, welcome to Tigers Roar at Scoreboards. How are you?
Thank you, TK. Doing great. Happy Halloween for everybody out there. I'm doing great. A long time overdue. Happy to be here. Definitely happy to be here on Halloween. A lot of good activities going on outside. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Big weekend.
Well, I mean, you're getting the biggest week.
I lucked into it. I really did.
This show's been around for 12 years, and you're getting the biggest week. Well, the 2 national championship games weeks were pretty big, but you're getting the biggest week for any game in Baton Rouge, in my opinion. I mean, I had no idea LSU would be 7-1 coming into this game. I'm one of the people in the summer that said, you know, they're going to go 6-6 this year. They've already won 7. Should win the 3 after this one, but it all matters on Saturday night, 7 o'clock, prime time. It'll be a packed stadium. There'll be another 50,000 people out there tailgating. Arrive early is what LSU is encouraging. So you're getting in the hot seat here on a big game.
No, thank you, Jordy Hultberg, for spending time with your family, allowing me to pinch hit. Hopefully I won't fumble too bad, but yeah, huge shoes to fill, and what a night. I mean, LSU, Bama this weekend, Saints, Rams this weekend. It is a huge weekend of football in Louisiana.
Well, don't forget the final week of prep football.
And prep.
You know, we here at the Pelican have always been real big on high school sports, all sports, but high school football, it's the final week of the regular season, and then it's playoff time for those schools and teams, and then you got a de facto Final Four in the SEC this weekend. 2:30, Kentucky and Georgia. For all intents and purposes, that's for the East title. Then Bama, LSU, Saturday night. I got it this way. The 2 winners are going to be in Atlanta on December 1 for the SEC championship game. But, Jonathan, I said I had no idea LSU would be sitting here at 7-1. 8-0 for Bama. Yeah, a lot of people would have went with that. You know, how much surprise, how big of a surprise has it been to you that LSU is sitting at 7-1? You follow this just as closely as I do. You've done a lot of radio. You're on top of it. You're helping produce this show each and every week. Give the folks your opinion on LSU being 7-1.
What a time to be alive, LSU fans. I mean, all the question marks in the offseason, who is going to play quarterback, running back, wide receiver, the offensive line. I mean, all these questions have been answered, and answered emphatically with a lot of talent. JUCO transfers from other colleges. Coach O has found a way to make everything work. It's certainly been a special season. I mean, consider Cole Tracy, kicking at Assumption College last year, moves up to the D1 League, and he's done outstanding. Can't speak enough for the job Dave Aranda and Coach Ensminger have done, both preparing their units. I mean, everything seems to be working right. The gumbo certainly is peppered, as Coach O would like to say.
That's good analogy there. So, no, they've hit a lot of the correct buttons. And, of course, the College Football Playoff Committee rankings, the initial release was earlier this week. A lot of people suspect that LSU might be number 3. I could have made an argument that they were number 2, but Tigers are 3 in the initial College Football Playoff ranking, and that's a really good thing. Because they, you know, if they take care of business, they're not going to go the other way. If they beat Alabama, they're going to go to 2 or 1, then take care of Arkansas, Rice, A&M, respectively, for the final 3 games, and then do it in Atlanta. So number 3 in the rankings. I said I didn't think they'd be 7-1. By no means did I think they'd be number 3 when the first rankings came out earlier this week. Well, I'm talking about in August.
Right. I mean, that's a great point. Nobody knew LSU would have this amount of success this early behind Joe Burrow, the quarterback transfer from Ohio State. He's come in and absolutely light it up. I mean, everyone in the locker room looks to this guy to be a leader. Kind of a cool under pressure, tough guy mentality. If I was playing football, that's the guy I kind of want to line next to.
Joe Burrow has stepped into a a tough situation and been incredible.
Flawless.
He gets an A+. This week he says, if you're scared, don't come out of the locker room. He graduated from Ohio State. He has come out and said that, hey, I'm looking at this as my first job out here. Because no matter what job you have, you're always working for your next contract.
Right.
Well, right now he's working for an NFL contract, whether that's next year or the year after. He does have the option to return to LSU or to go to the NFL. But I think Joe Burrow has been exceptional with what he has done and stepped in and taken over. And I can promise you this, he has the quality that all great quarterbacks have, and that is when he sticks his head in the huddle and starts talking, everybody's listening.
I mean, he did an absolutely wonderful job coming in the offseason. Look, the locker room was already accustomed to those three quarterbacks that they had in the room already. Joe Burrow had to come and not only let his play speak for itself, but also be kind of humble. I mean, nobody wants an arrogant guy to come in and say, hey, I'm the man, I'm here, I'm ready to start. He had to come in, compete for the job. Coach O was very clear about that. He did it, kept his mouth shut, just got it done at practice, and that's how you win over the locker room. That's how you win over your teammates.
And let's address and get past the Devin White story. Okay, it's not going to change. I said that after the thing came down. He's not going to play the first half. Get over it. I love the way Ed Orgeron has spun it. He said the players are mad about that, but they play better when they're mad. He said, I'm mad about it, but I coach better when I'm mad. He has made a positive out of an unfortunate situation that shouldn't be, but we can argue that till the cows come home. It's not going to change. So Devin White will be raring to go first time he can step on the field in the third quarter, and I think Coach O and his staff have handled this with the players the best way you could possibly dream it up. And look, it could even be motivation.
Right.
And you made a great point to me earlier today. Talk about the guys that are going to be filling in for him.
Well, it kind of works to LSU's advantage that they knew all week for preparation, the 2 weeks of preparation, that Devin White would not be available for the first half against Bama. So everyone else around the team had to step up. They know they're going to have to replace at least 10 tackles a game. Devin White, amongst the leaders in SEC tackles per game, that's a huge loss. But LSU has practiced for 2 weeks, ready, prepared to fill that gap. And I think Dave Aranda, a genius on the defensive side of the football. If anyone can find a way to game plan 2 weeks to have it control Tua and that Bama offense, it's going to be LSU and Dave Aranda.
Yeah, no question about that. And the opposite of what you're saying is, hypothetically, if Devin White pulls a hamstring at 6:15 before the 7 o'clock kickoff, then all of a sudden you're looking around going, okay, you got to play in this situation. Hey, you got to play. And then they're freaking out.
Right.
So you make the great point. They have been preparing mentally and physically for 2 weeks to make the adjustment of him not being in there in the first half. And that's the way it goes. And yes, I do think the NCAA needs to look at that rule in the offseason and make it better. But I heard an interview with Les Miles today who said when that rule went in, it was stated that they would err on the side of safety to a player. This might have been a little too far on the side.
I read something great on Twitter that said second half when Devin White comes on the field, they need to bring him out in that old Mike the Tiger cage. Used to bring him on the field. Just unleash the beast.
You can't overcook it.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
Anyway, we got Jonathan Poche here. I'm Tommy Christ, and let me tell you what we have on this week's edition of Tigers Roar. We're going to hear a lot from Coach Ed Orgeron, his comments about his football team and getting ready for this matchup with Alabama. We've got Nick Saban's comments about the matchup. We're going to hear from Joe Burrow, Grant Delpit, Braden Fajeko, Nick Brissett. And we got to give a couple of minutes to the black and gold and New Orleans Saints.
Who that?
3:25 kickoff on Sunday down in the Superdome. What a year they've started off with. 4-0 on the road.
Yeah. No, it's been outstanding. Dropped the first one to the Buccaneers at the Dome. Everybody was like, uh-oh, maybe this team isn't as good as we thought they were. They've turned all those thoughts around.
And I want to remind you, here at Scoreboards, there's a watch party for the LSU-Alabama game Saturday night. There's a watch party Sunday for the Saints and the Rams. On Sunday, it's all day. All you can eat, tailgate and barbecue. It's outstanding. I ate some of it last week. The boiled snow crabs and the boiled shrimp on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with the corn, the sausages, the potatoes. The bread pudding is through the roof. Happy hour. You need to get out to Scoreboards. 10655 Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge between Sherwood and Airline next to Anton's Fine Jewelers. Scoreboards. Follow them on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Great way to keep up with it. On the Facebook page, the Express Lunch menu is posted as well as the regular menu, open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. Got some folks out here tonight checking out Tigers Roar. We certainly appreciate that. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Coach Ed Orgeron and some of his thoughts as we lead up to the hype and the build-up for the 7 o'clock kickoff Saturday night. We'll be right back with more of Tigers Roar from Scoreboards on Pelican Sports TV.
Going golfing. Ooh. Off to golf.
You're picking that up.
Off to the range, honey.
Bye.
Whoa. Oh, that was close. Glad you got the backup camera installed.
Yep.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Jordy Helper for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
Are you ready for this year's formal events? Weddings, homecoming, Mardi Gras, prom, pageants. Debbie's Bridal is having an inventory blowout sale. Don't be left out. Prices range from 20% off to 80% off. Happening now. Debbie's Bridal, Burnside in Gonzales.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com. We continue with Tigers Roar from Scoreboards here on Coursey Boulevard between Sherwood and Airline. Jonathan Poche, that's not Jordy Hultberg dressed up as Jonathan Poche.
Right. No.
Jonathan Poche, a member of the Pelican team. And, you know, if you do well enough, you know, maybe Hultberg had to go trick-or-treating every week. Huh?
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. Maybe he likes candy. I don't know.
You know,
Get your fill, Jordy. I appreciate it. I'll keep your seat nice and warm.
Hey, just wait till they start bringing some of the great food from Scoreboards out here later.
Jordy's a little more polite when he's eating up here. I think I'm gonna give me a piece of some food.
You had the brisket po' boy earlier.
Sure did.
Good stuff.
No, outstanding. Outstanding.
Let's get to the important stuff. That's Coach Ed Orgeron. He's the coach. If he gave away a Coach of the Year award today, he'd get it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but they don't give it away till the end of the year. But what a job he's done. You have to give him credit, because if the Tigers weren't doing well, he'd be getting the blame. Here is part one of some comments that we have from Coach Ed Orgeron on Alabama Week. Here's Tiger head football coach Ed Orgeron.
Welcome, everybody. We had a very productive open week, had a very enthusiastic Tiger Bowl, led by a tackle pass to Darrell Rosenthal for a touchdown. He got called back on a penalty. I thought our coaches, especially on offense, were very creative. Foster Morrow and Nick Brissett were the head coaches. I thought they brought a lot of energy to our football team. John Trey Kirkland played Wildcat quarterback. There was a lot of fun out there. The guys did a tremendous job. DeRay Jenkins was the MVP. I think he had 3 or 4 touchdowns. And I thought it was a tremendous job by our staff. We had a very positive weekend of recruiting. Our guys were out recruiting on Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. We saw a lot of top recruits, guys that could really help us win championships. And now it's on to 7 p.m. CBS, LSU versus Alabama. It's going to be an outstanding week of practice, preparation, against an outstanding team. I know our fans are going to be there. They'll be there early in their Tiger Walk. Our players thrive off of that. I know the energy in the state of Louisiana and the energy is in the stadium is going to be something that we haven't seen for a long time in Louisiana. We're looking forward to our game. We're looking forward to our matchup versus Alabama. A little bit about them. Obviously, they're an outstanding football team. They have a very explosive offense led by Tua. Tua is a RPO run-pass option quarterback. He's very good, very quick release. Does a very good job with his pre-snap reads. Has a very good offensive line. Damian Harris, a very good running back. He has a slew of running backs. Jerry Jeudy, number 4, is their best receiver. He's a big play guy. On defense, typical Alabama defense, 3-4, tough against the run. Very good defensive line. Skilled athletes and linebacker that can run, young corners that are very good. We recruited both of those guys. We know them very well. But we feel that, again, another good Alabama defense and very explosive on special teams. This week's going to be about us. This is going to be about preparation, blocking out the noise. Looking forward to having our team back today on Monday and having an excellent week of preparation. Any questions?
Coach, could you speak to Tua's escapability and his accuracy on the run? It seems next level.
What was his accuracy on?
And his ability to on the run to get out of the pocket.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. First of all, his release is phenomenal. His ability to run, outstanding athlete. I don't know how much they want to run him. I think they could run him more and run past Keys. But you're going to have to contain him, keep him in the pocket, make him throw out of a well. He's a little bit taller than I expected him to be after meeting him in person. He's a great player.
Coach, when Alabama throws the ball, it doesn't seem like they're dink and dunk. Seems like they're really chunking the ball down the field. What are the challenges their wide receivers present to you? And is it because he has so much time to throw he's able to do this?
A lot of double moves, a lot of creative routes, 7 routes, chair 7s, like we call them, smash routes. They know how to attack coverages. They're very well coached. But, we have some good DBs. We know we lead the country in the interceptions. I think we match up well with them. It's going to be a battle, but I like our DBs. I think we match up very well.
Coach, can you talk about the challenge over here on your right? Coach, on your right? Coach, on your right?
Oh, right.
Sorry.
I got you.
Can you talk about the challenge for the offensive line this week, not only in pass protection, but in maintaining drives?
Yeah. We have to eliminate negative plays. We had too many negative plays against a very good Mississippi State line defense. Alabama's a little bit different than Mississippi State. They're more of a 3-4. Mississippi State was out of a 4-3. They slanted. But these guys hold their gap. They're tough against double teams. They don't want to give you anything inside the tackles, and they let the linebackers run from sideline to sideline. So we're going to have to be able to run the football like we did against Georgia, hold our blocks, protect the quarterback, give it enough time to get the ball down the field.
Right in the middle. What would be your message to the team this week? Would you like a gradual build up to game time, or do you want to?
No. We're not going to explode till 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're going to take it one day at a time. Today is Tell the Truth Monday. We're going to talk about the things that we did well last week, the things that we have to prepare for this week. We're going to take it one game at a time, one day at a time. I know this. Our coaching staff is ready. Our team is ready, but there's nothing that you can do till Saturday night but win the day. Get the most that we can out of today.
In the past, against Alabama, it always seems like you're just trying to figure a way to score. How does it change the dynamic knowing that, it'll probably take at least 30 points or so going in?
Who said 30 points?
I did, actually.
Okay, good.
But,
good. Alabama, you have to, it all starts with protection. You've got to protect. They have a lot of sacks. They're very creative in their pass rush. We're going to have to get the ball out of Joe's hands quick, but we're going to have to be able to run the football.
I guess what I'm saying is, do you change your approach going in, maybe even being a little more aggressive and throwing that kitchen sink?
We're going to go to win the game, I can tell you that. And we're going to figure out a game plan that fits this week, a game plan that fits the team, and we haven't figured that out yet.
Ed, do you think you guys are any closer to maybe deciding who might fill in for Devin White in that first half?
It'll be part out of Patrick and Micah. We're not decided on that yet. But Devon is a good young player. He's not ready yet. And it'll probably be out of Patrick and Micah.
Coach, kind of in the middle. Third different offensive coordinator at Alabama in 3 years. We've talked a bunch about Tua, but does Mike Locksley do anything different offensively than what you've seen in the last 2 years?
Yeah, RPOs. The RPOs are prevalent. Pre-snap reads. They're getting rid of the ball quicker. They're taking shots down the field. I think the run game is very similar to what Lane had. Inside zone, outside zone, counters, powers. Not as much run game with the quarterback as it was with Jalen Hurts. Obviously, because I think they have Jalen's hurt, and they can't afford to get another quarterback hurt, but it's very similar, but the RPOs are more prevalent.
Coach, down here. You've talked and given credit a lot to, you wanted to build a bigger staff of analysts, and you did that, and they've kind of helped y'all prepare weeks ahead for games. Just kind of expound on that, and how does that help going into a game like this?
Well, the information that we have on those guys started this summer. We spent a couple of days on each team in Alabama this summer. So we have breaking down every game that Alabama played last year. We have a breakdown on every game that they played this year. We know what hurts them. We know what they do very well. Dave has appointed each analyst a different section for them to study. Think about this. Kevin Coyle is studying something as an NFL coordinator would for 15 years, or a defensive coordinator for 15 years. So he brings a wealth of knowledge, especially in the back end. Him and Bill Bush have been an excellent addition to our team. Last year, we played the run very well against Alabama. They exploited us in the passing game. I feel with the addition of Bill Bush, Kevin Cole, Corey Raymond, and Dave Aranda, we're much more suited to play their passing game this year.
Coach, over here. A couple of things. I think you had said, I don't know, when this game came up maybe last year or whatever, that you didn't want to place too much emphasis on the game. You wanted to have more of a business-like approach to it.
Yeah.
What does that do for your team? And two, they have not been under any stress at all this year, Alabama.
Yeah.
Do you think there is an inherent advantage if you could put them under some stress, especially early in the game?
We're going to find out. I'll tell you that. Again, I know, and everybody knows how big this game is for the state of Louisiana, for our football team. But I am not going to make it bigger than life, that our guys can't handle it. So we're going to approach this game. We're not going to say it's like every other game. We understand that this is the game. But we're going to approach every day like we've done, and we're not going to change our process. Now, when it comes down to game time, there's going to be an excitement in the air that's going to be different for this game. That just happens that way. And that's how it is versus LSU Alabama. But there's nothing I need to say or do different this week to get these guys fired up. What was the second part of it?
About them not being under it. They haven't
Yeah.
been under stress the whole season.
Yeah, you know, listen, you come into Tiger Stadium and it's loud, you're going to be into some stress. You play our defense, you're going to be into some stress. So we expect this to be an exciting game, a matchup. We expect this to be a battle for 60 minutes, and there's going to be stress on both sides. And we'll see what happens in the game.
Coach, you've gone up against some really good quarterbacks over the years. Is there anybody that comes to mind that you can think of that sort of maybe is similar to Tua and kind of, you know, you compare and say, hey, wow, maybe this guy kind of reminds me of Tua in his skill set?
You know, I haven't thought about it like that. You know, I would say, although I didn't play him, Michael Vick. Now say he's that type of player, doesn't run as much, but quick release, great athlete, maybe. But I didn't play Michael, so that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Coach, down here, LSU leads the nation right now with 14 interceptions. Tua yet to throw an interception so far this season. What would you like to see from your defense this week?
A lot more interceptions. You know, he's very quick with the ball and very accurate. But, you know, I believe in our guys. I believe in our defensive scheme. I believe we have some of the best DBs in the country. This is going to be a tremendous matchup. I know our guys are going to be fired up. They're going to hear all that stuff this week. So there's going to be extra motivation for them. But we're going to have to go out and do it Saturday. But I do believe that our guys will be ready to match their receivers.
We continue with Tigers Roar. We'll hear from more of Coach Orgeron shortly, but breaking news in the world of college football that was announced just a short time ago. DJ Durkin has been fired at Maryland after being reinstated on Tuesday. He's fired Wednesday. University of Maryland totally screwed that up by reinstating him. We all know the story. A young man died during after a summer workout, and all the allegations about that program that came out. The blowback was incredible, including from players, the Student Government Association on the campus. Maryland has fired DJ Durkin.
Yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing that it's ever had to happen. It shouldn't have been reinstated. I mean, a dumb person could have told you that. When you lose a player, tough questions have to be answered. Then when the background came out of how this guy handles himself professionally, Maryland, come on, Terps. Got to be better than that. At least they got the final result right eventually.
Well, and now, as we said, they can head in a correct direction. Right. And probably, I didn't see the full report, but former LSU offensive coordinator Matt Canada, who was the interim coach while Durkin was suspended, liable to be back in that spot. So that just broke literally a few minutes ago. Obviously, we taped this on a Wednesday. If you're catching it on Friday or Saturday, you have a rebroadcast going, or youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. After mid-morning Thursday, you can watch the show at your convenience. We'll take a break, come back with more of Tiger head football coach Ed Orgeron. It's LSU versus Bama, or Hate Bama Week. It's been all over social media, a lot of funny stuff. Jonathan Poche, Tommy Chrysan. Spread the roar. We'll be back in a minute.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
We continue with more of Tigers Roar from Scoreboards. Jonathan Poche, are you relaxed yet?
I'm cooled down. I'm relaxed. I'm
good to go?
The groove of it. I'm good.
Yeah, you're doing a wonderful job. I'm Tommy Christ, and I appreciate the folks out here tonight. You're invited each and every week. Tape a bunch of shows here. A sports update with Kate at about 12 noon on Tuesday. Right. The Roger Kadar show. Tigers is about 3 o'clock on Tuesday. Tigers Roar about 5:30 Wednesday. The plans to take that live at 8 p.m. hopefully in a couple weeks. Post-game show, we hope to have that here for you after LSU Bama. We'll announce it, blitz it out on social media, the final answer on that on Saturday. But you're going to be here watching the game. Hopefully we're here with you. Now, we've got more of Coach Orgeron here, the continued hype, the continued get ready for the biggest game in Baton Rouge of all time, in my opinion. Here's Tiger football coach Ed Orgeron.
Coach, what is the health of your offensive line, and is there advantage to playing maybe a Garrett Brumfield who isn't at 100%, but he's seen what Alabama can bring?
You know, surprisingly, I talked to Jack this morning. He feels that Garrett's going to be ready to go, and is going to be about as healthy as he possibly can right now. So that gives us a boost. Garrett brings a tremendous amount of leadership, a tremendous amount of confidence, and he also makes the calls. And he helps the left tackle. He helps Sadiq. Him and Sadiq have a tremendous relationship there, and also Lloyd. So I think that's going to give us a big boost. We also can play Chason behind him. Chason's physical. He's athletic. He can handle this type of game. So if Garrett needs a spell, I think we have developed depth there that makes us stronger.
Coach in the back here, I know every year is different and you don't really like to harp on the past, but does the losing streak motivate the team at all, or is that really not affecting what?
We don't talk about that, and that's not something that's discussed. We take it one game at a time, but obviously I think all of us feel it, and we understand the importance of beating Alabama at LSU, and I think that's going to play into some motivation this week. I don't have to say it though.
How would you describe the team's confidence level now? I mean, now that you've seen battle-tested 7-1 team?
I think it's very high. I think it's very high, but it's modest. Knowing that we know this as a football team, we have to be hungry. We have to play our best to play with anybody. But when we do play our best, we can play with anybody. And so we have gone out and played a complete game against some teams, and we've seen the results. We've gone out and kind of misfired and struggled a little bit and didn't win against Florida where we should have won that game. I feel like we was a better football team. We've gone out and played some lesser opponents, kind of played to their level, and the game didn't look good and we won it. But I think this team is mature enough to understand that all they got to do is play their best to beat Alabama. If we play our best, we are capable of doing it. We really feel that now. We have to go out and do it.
Hey, down here. Missed opportunities on deep shots last year were such a big factor, and what you guys have been able to do with that this year, how much do you think that's different for this team?
Well, I do believe that Joe has proved that he can throw the deep ball. But we're going to have to protect. I thought we protected very well last year against them. We had DJ open a couple of times. Hopefully we can get our guys open. I do believe Joe can make that throw, but it's all going to start with protection.
Kind of along that same line, you talked a lot about trust and trusting your coordinators and the ability that Joe and Steve have had to work together this year. Do you feel better suited, and are you more comfortable going into this game maybe than you have in the past?
No question. Yeah, I believe that. The first year when we're interim coaches, we didn't play very well on offense, and we tried to do some different things that were kind of out of whack a little bit. That wasn't us, and we have to be us. And I think the team that you've seen in the last couple of teams is us. Now, obviously, we're going to have to do a couple of different things because they're very good on defense and they know exactly what we're doing. So there's going to be a couple of changes this week that we're going to have to give them to keep them off guard.
Coach, this game has a history of kind of going down to the wire. The last time y'all won was obviously settled with field goals. How much of a mental edge, how much of a comfort is it to know Cole has some experience with that and maybe Alabama doesn't as much?
Cole has brought a tremendous amount of confidence in our football team. And like I said, anytime we get to the 33, I feel like we got 3 points. And but we're going to have to get to the 33, and for sure. And there's going to be some times where we're going to have to go for it. It all depends on the course of the football game, but we feel that we can get down to the end with anybody. We can beat them with Cole.
What can you do to improve your red zone scoring opportunities? Is it concept? Is it specific play design, personnel?
Yeah, I think first of all it's concept. I think that we got bogged down there. We have to look at what we're doing, which we have this week. We have to get guys open. We have to protect better. I think all those things need to become better. We can't rely on just 3 points, and I think that the offense has used that as a crutch a little bit, that we're going to get 3 points. That's been our goal, to get touchdowns in the red zone. Obviously, there's going to be tough sledding this week, but the thing I want to make sure that we do when we get down the red zone, take care of that football. I didn't like the turnover last week.
Coach, LSU fans have always been waiting for a quarterback to win this game. What do you like about Joe when it comes to his demeanor and kind of his teammates, what they gravitate to him in that fashion?
Yeah, Joe's not going to panic. He's going to be confident. He's going to want to play his best game. He's got that linebacker mentality. He's tough. This is a big man's game. This is a tough game. You're going to get hit. There's going to be some punches thrown, and you can't back down. There's going to be some rough sledding. They're going to make some plays. They're going to blitz your protection. They're going to do some things that is going to be tough. But I think Joe's seasoned enough that he can go through that, not panic, and put us in the right situation. I think this is a game that he's going to have to make some calls at the line of scrimmage to put us in the right play, the right situation, and get us out of bad situations. I do know this. I believe in Joe. The team believes in him. Feel good about it.
Coach, most weeks you got a week to prepare for a team. This week you got 2 weeks going into this game. How much more dangerous and effective is Dave Aranda when he's got that extra week to kind of game plan and
he's been Dave's been spot on. I thought his first year against Lane, he was excellent. I thought he stayed ahead of the coordinator. 0-0 going into the fourth quarter. Jalen Hurst made a couple of plays. That's all it was. I thought he was excellent. Last year we struggled a little bit. We went in there. I thought last year they were one of the best running teams I'd ever seen. And we busted our tails to stop the run. And we did a pretty good job, and they beat us in the passing game, so we weren't very happy with that part. Now, we're going to have to play a complete game on defense to stop their run game and their passing game. No one has done it yet. But if there's anybody can do it, it's our defensive staff. I do believe in them.
Coach, over here to your right. Based on the change they made in the national championship game last year, would you expect in this game, this kind of magnitude, that they would make a change just to give you something different to look at?
With the week off, there are going to be some different things. You know what I'm saying? Now, you asked me if they're going to change quarterback? We'll be prepared for them. We always have a different plan for a different quarterback. We'll be prepared. But the way that guy's playing, it's hard to take him out.
Over here, kind of a question about freshmen in the SEC, but to what extent is this game an example of how difficult it can be for true freshmen to be ready to play in this conference? And on the flip side, do you see the possibility that some true freshmen could have a big impact in this game?
Yeah. There's going to be true freshmen playing, obviously, on both sides. Obviously, those true freshmen are tremendous football players. And they would, this is what, the 9th game of the season, so these guys wouldn't have gotten that far if they wouldn't be producing. So obviously the coaches believe on them on both sides, and they should be ready to go. So.
Hey, down here. With 3 top 10 wins already in the season, with this game coming up, just the context of what this game would mean for this program and in the direction y'all are heading.
All that stuff is on the perimeter. All that stuff is out there with noise and stuff. You start thinking about that too much, you get punched in the mouth. This is a game where you got to focus in on the fundamentals. You got to be mentally tough. You can't worry about what if this happens, what if that happens, where this brings us. All that stuff goes out after the kickoff. And it's about beating your man. It's about executing. One thing that Alabama does well, they're not fancy. Be honest with you, they run basic plays that are run very well with great execution.
How much have you seen of their receivers, and Jerry Jeudy specifically just really seems to have exploded?
Phenomenal player. Double moves. They move him around. They know where Tua knows where he's at all the time. The RPOs, if you play off of him, he'll throw a slant, gain 30 yards, beat a safety. You press him, you get double moves, corner routes. The guy's a phenomenal football player. Probably one of the best receivers we're going to see all year.
Coach, what was your reception like at the high school game Friday night? Were some Alabama fans surprised to see you? And how was Tua talking to you?
It was great. Obviously, I couldn't speak for him long because he's family. I just introduced myself and I told him, hey, you're one of the best players in the country. See you later. And that was it. And, it's not a contact period, so I could not. You can only have a bump, so I didn't speak to him long. He was very respectful, obviously. I thought it was a great game. It was a great atmosphere. It was great players. I enjoyed being there.
What about the fans?
They were great. Great. Nothing. Had a couple of Go Tigers. It was all good.
Coach, a guy like Devin White who's done everything that you've asked him to do and had a great rep and everything, are you concerned like somebody could look on the outside and try to label him a dirty player or something for him?
No way. Devin is one of the best young men I know. And after you look at that hit, it wasn't dirty. It was not, so don't worry about it at all.
How has the team responded in the last
Great.
week to the whole
Everybody's got to pick it up, starting with me. Everybody knows that. And this team plays well when they're mad. I coach better when I'm mad. I like it. And it's good. We need to be that way.
Coach, can you talk about the importance of the defensive line over here on your right? Up here again.
Okay.
Can you talk about the importance of the defensive line winning their one-on-one battles to give your secondary the opportunity to make plays?
It's a big man's game. This game is always won in the trenches. We have to do a great job in our techniques. This is going to be a technical game. Stay in your gap, own your double team, put pressure on the quarterback. Also keeping them in the pocket, not letting them run outside, not letting them run inside. This is going to be a tremendous challenge for our defensive line. They have an excellent offensive line. They're very well coached. Not many defensive lines have shut them down yet. Thank you.
We continue with Tigers Roar. Coach Orgeron has to get a lot of credit for everything that has happened on the field, off the field. Had some issues in August. They've overcome them. They've been able to, had some adversity. And when everybody has adversity, but it's what you do about it. Do you overcome it? And he's got his team ranked third in the playoff rankings and playing the game of the year in Baton Rouge Tiger Stadium Saturday night.
You have to give Coach O credit. He has had his team ready to play every single week. Did drop a game to Florida. They were in that game. Maybe were drinking Kool-Aid a little bit, reading some headlines. Knew they had Georgia down the road. But outside of that, every time they line up to go, they have been ready for action, ready to do war. And you got to give that to Coach Orgeron.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, little Nick Saban, obviously once the head coach at LSU. We're going to hear from him, his thoughts about his Alabama team and the matchup with LSU. All of that will be next as we continue from Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge. Follow them on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Got the daily, the express menu for lunch, open daily at 11 a.m. The boiled snow crabs and shrimp, corn, sausage, potatoes on Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. All you can eat, tailgate and barbecue all day long on Sunday. Going to be a watch party to watch LSU Bama right here on the video wall. Watch party to watch the Saints and the Rams on Sunday. All the great food, the bar, everything's ready for you at Scoreboards right here on Coursey Boulevard. Again, follow them on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll come back, let you hear from Coach Saban after this pause. Spread the roar. You're watching Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
Taste the feeling.
Oh, great party.
Oh, thanks for coming, guys.
Better get that car warmed up.
I'm on it. I don't miss those days.
Yeah, we just had a remote start installed.
Oh, us too. Nice.
It's gonna be nice and toasty.
Why don't we have one of those?
We're fine.
Okay, I can't feel my fingers.
I bet everyone else can.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Bilelli Ballelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Ballelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bugman, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bugman today, 923-BUGS.
We continue with Tigers Roar from scoreboards. It's LSU Alabama week. Everybody knows the story. The hype is building more and more each day. Jonathan, on the Alabama end, it's Coach Nick Saban. It's a sensitive topic in Baton Rouge. We all know he was a coach here. He won a national championship. He left for the Miami Dolphins, and then that was a little bit of a sting. And then when he left the Dolphins, he comes to Alabama, the West Division rival, a little more of a sting to many LSU fans. But personally, I think he's the greatest coach in the history of college football based on his accomplishments at two different schools and the consistency that he has provided. I've got a very good friend that's coaching on his staff, so I hear a few more things about Nick Saban than maybe some people in the media do. But I think he's the greatest coach in the history of the game. He'll always have that place. He'll always have that mark. It's a thorn in a lot of LSU fans' side, but it is what it is. I want your thoughts on Nick Saban.
I agree. Best college football coach of all time. I'm a young man, a ripe age of 30 years old, so I do remember the Jerry DiNardo days. Look, to me, Nick Saban brought the LSU program to a level it had never been before. I have the utmost respect for Coach Nick Saban, what he was able to do for LSU. Yeah, the pros didn't work out the way he would like, came back, now he's at Bama, and now it's Bama and everybody else. As you mentioned, the best college football coach of all time. For me, I don't hold a grudge against him for going to chase the money. Look, that's the business. I mean, you go, who's going to pay you? The Miami Dolphins backed the truck up to Nick Saban's home, gave him all the money in the world. They thought it was going to work out. It didn't, unfortunately. When he was coming back to college, LSU had their coach, so that marriage wasn't made in heaven anymore. But to me, I cannot slight Nick Saban. I mean, the guy does it week in, week out, year in, year out. He always has his team at the top, and you have to respect that.
Well, and you made the point. He brought LSU to a pro level it hadn't been before. And I'm gonna reach into the memory bank here for you. Jonathan, I've been on the air in Baton Rouge for 25, 26 years now. I can vividly remember, Jonathan, people when Saban got the job, at the time, Skip Bertman had 5 College World Series titles. Right. A remarkable run, might not ever be matched. I remember people calling radio shows, calling television shows, saying they would trade all 5 of the College World Series titles for one football title. Well, obviously you can't do that, but that was the sentiment of how bad people wanted a football title. He delivered that. Yep. I think there should be a statue of him out in front of Tiger Stadium, and Les Miles, who also won a national title. Right. They should both have a statue at some point in the future. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. So he brought the fan base of LSU something that many thought they wouldn't have, something that were willing to give up 5 World Series titles for. And I think he delivered that, and he left here's the other measuring stick of a college football coach, in my opinion. Do you leave the program in better shape than you found it?
Right.
Nick Saban left LSU football in a lot better shape than he found it. If you're an LSU fan, you might not want to hear this, but you have to respect that and be thankful for that. You don't have to like him. He's got an A on his shirt, and he's an Alabama guy. You don't have to like him. I think you have to respect him.
To me, you have to respect him. I mean, the legacy he left, as I mentioned, he raised, elevated the whole program to levels that had never been before. Just the prestige around the country of what LSU football meant to young recruits looking at that program from the outside. I mean, he just raised the level of the whole thing, brought LSU to new heights, and really, you cannot take that away from Nick Saban.
And let's give Les Miles credit. He sustained it for quite a while until it started going south. All right, with all that being said, the other side of the field in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night, Little Nicky, we've got his comments about his Alabama football team and the matchup with LSU, his Crimson Tide head football coach, Nick Saban.
Well, I feel really good about the bye week work that we were able to get in last week. Obviously, we started focusing on LSU last Thursday. Players are off a few days, so time to get back to really focusing on the challenges of what is basically you could view as a new season in terms of the teams that we have to play, especially this team that we play this week, who's one of the best teams in the nation. I think they're very elite in a lot of ways in terms of the way they play defense. Their offense is very efficient and really done a great job this year. The quarterback plays well for them. They've got good runners. They've got good receivers. Our record or any other statistic that you guys want to sort of bring up about all this game and all that will not affect the outcome of this game at all. Both sides of the ball are going to be challenged. So how are you going to face those challenges? And I think the best way to do that is with great preparation, great focus during the course of the week, so that you sort of develop the confidence when you get to the game so you can, not be thinking about what you have to do, but be putting all your energy in what you have to do to execute and do your job well. I think Ed's done a really good job there at LSU. They have some impressive wins this year against some really good teams. They're ranked nationally in turnovers gained, interceptions, scoring defense. I mentioned the quarterback, who has been, I think, a very, very effective player for them. He's a good passer. He's athletic enough to pull the ball and run it and make explosive plays rushing. And I think he's the third leading rusher on their team and has made some big plays. They got some very, very good receivers. So, they present lots of challenges with their runners and their running game, as well as their ability to make explosive plays in the passing game. Their defense, as I mentioned, is ranked, in the top 10 in scoring defense. Very athletic, very good front seven, do a good job of stopping the run. They've got a really good secondary who leads, the nation, I think, in interceptions. Devin White is probably as good a linebacker as there is anywhere, and I know he'll be out for part of the game. This team has very good special teams, and they have really, really good specialists. So this team is really good all around. So every part of our team is going to have to get challenged and going to have to respond very well to the challenges in this game.
Right here with Ben. How did the way that you constructed LSU as a program and the success you had there kind of influence what some of your priorities were when you got here and laying out things here?
Well, I think that the experiences that you have wherever you coached, whether it was at Toledo, Michigan State, Belichick in Cleveland, I think all those things influence the way that you do things. And obviously, I never had any experience in the SEC, so those experiences were monumental, I think, when I started coaching in this league, not only in coaching against the good competition in the league, but also the recruiting part of it, the tradition of the league, and all those things being, exceptionally good. So I think I've learned a lot with all the experiences that we've had, but probably for being in this part of the country, in the competition in the SEC, whether it's playing or recruiting, probably learned quite a bit there.
You guys have had, there have been several shutouts in this series recently. Just how defensive, what's been the defensive theme of the series the last maybe 10 years?
Well, they're a completely different team now, and I don't think this team's like any LSU team we've played in recent years in terms of, what they're doing on offense. They're going fastball. I mean, they're playing with tempo. They're a lot more open formations than what they have been in the past. They're not in the I formation, just trying to run the ball against people, creating a lot more issues and problems for you, the way they utilize the personnel. So this team is nothing like any team that we've ever played before at LSU. They also play with great intangibles when it comes to toughness and trying to finish plays, and the effort they're playing with and the competitive spirit they're playing with is, really exceptional, and that's why I think they're having success.
Coach, I'm sorry if I missed this. Could you update us on Jalen's status and what he will or won't be able to do this week?
Well, it's going to be day to day. Today he's going to start throwing again, see how he moves around in the pocket. He's making good progress. These things typically take, a week to 10 days before, a player starts feeling really comfortable. So we just have to see how he responds each day to the workload as we increase it through the course of the week and sort of go from there. I can't really answer that question right now. I just know what he's going to be able to do today.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Hey, Marty.
Saturday night promises to be a wild atmosphere. Always is down there. What about Tua's skill set and mental makeup will allow him to be successful on Saturday night for you guys?
Well, I think that it's important that players can stay focused on what's happening on the field. We played on the road a few times. Noise is obviously a factor anytime you play on the road, but in a game like this, in an atmosphere like this, it's probably going to be something that the quarterback and the whole offensive team is going to have to manage well and really stay focused on. So, I think Tua has demonstrated that he is able to stay in the moment in terms of being able to execute, and I think that it's going to be really, really important to do that in the atmosphere against the good team that we're going to play, especially the way they play defense. So there's a lot of challenges here, and we'll find out a lot about who we are, in terms of how we meet these challenges.
Back on the left with John Cena.
Could you elaborate a little bit on kind of what kind of stamp Coach Orgeron has put on that program? Because his hiring, it wasn't universally praised. He's had to kind of prove some doubters wrong.
Well, I think that it's pretty evident by the way they play. I think that the intangibles that this team plays with makes them a little bit different than the LSU teams that we've played in the past. Obviously, his toughness is evident in every part of their team. And, they're playing with great effort. They're not making a lot of mistakes. They seem to be really together in terms of how they execute on both sides of the ball in special teams. So I think those are all trademarks of leadership, which Ed has obviously done a good job of, and are trademarks of what he wants to do. They play physical up front. They try to win on the line of scrimmage. They're doing more things to spread you out, but yet you can see that there's a great emphasis on controlling the line of scrimmage.
Coach, we'll come back over here on the right. Charlie.
How have you seen Savion Smith step up with Trayvon's injury, or since Trayvon's injury?
He's doing a good job. We keep working with him, and I think he's getting more confident, and he's doing a good job, and I think that it's going to be important that our corners really play well against their receivers. They take a lot of shots. They throw the ball down the field a lot, and they've been pretty good at making explosive plays. So, the corners will be tested in this game, and how they play in the game will have a big impact on the outcome of the game, no doubt.
I've only got one more unless somebody else has got another.
Just wonder, how have you seen the offensive line improve over the course of the season?
Well, I think that it's going to be a challenge in this game to get movement. This is the biggest, most physical front that we played against, and very athletic at linebacker and in the perimeter in the secondary. So it all starts up front, and for us to be able to get some movement on these guys is going to be very, very important to creating balance in terms of what we want to do on offense. And I'm not disappointed at all with the progress that we've made, as an offensive line throughout the course of the year, but I don't think there's any question about the fact that we'll be very much challenged in this game with the type of players they have up front.
One more follow-up, we'll finish with John Baker.
You've had a lot of ball hawking defensive backs over the years and secondaries. What do you see from them that makes them so good at creating, I guess, negative plays for the other?
Well, they're very, very athletic. They've got good size. They mix it up, quite a bit in terms of playing man, zone, different things, disguising, especially on third down. They drop 8 guys sometimes, so they fill up all the zones. Sometimes they rush a defensive back and drop somebody else out. So the multiples of what they do on third down, and their players do a really good job, I think, fundamentally of executing what they're supposed to do. They stay in really good position, and they're very aggressive in terms of the way they break on the ball, and they tackle well in space, and I think all these things contribute to them being an outstanding secondary.
Saban, the head coach of the Crimson Tide of Alabama. He'll be here. He'll bring that football team. And I'm telling you, been doing this a long time, as you know, Jonathan. Rarely do I look forward to a game. It's like, okay, we got the post game, we got to work it. I want to check it out and all that. This game, like everybody else in this town in South Louisiana, people are gearing up for it in the grocery stores, at scoreboards. I mean, no matter where you go, it's got to. And this is Wednesday evening when we're here at scoreboards. It's only going to grow between now and kickoff Saturday night. There's going to be some people well oiled up by kickoff.
Oh yeah, it's going to be nationwide. Look, all eyes of college football are going to be on this game. Everyone is pulling for LSU to beat Alabama. Got to change up the college football playoffs somehow. Tired of seeing Alabama at the final game. So look, everybody's going to be pulling for LSU. Everybody's going to be a Tiger fan this come Saturday. And it's going to be raucous. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's all or nothing for LSU. Right. They win the game, they got a great chance to win the West and get in the playoff. They lose, they're not winning the West, they're going to be in whatever bowl. We're going to take a break. When we come back, quarterback Joe Burrow, we're going to let you hear from him, the guy who has stepped in, graduate transfer from Ohio State. He has done the job and stepped in fine fashion. We'll hear from Joe Burrow when we come back after this pause. Spread the roar. You're watching Tigers Roar.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Are you ready for this year's formal events? Weddings, homecoming, Mardi Gras, prom, pageants. Debbie's Bridal is having an inventory blowout sale. Don't be left out. Prices range from 20% off to 80% off. Happening now. Debbie's Bridal, Burnside in Gonzales.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
We continue with Tigers Roar from here at Scoreboards on Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge. Jonathan Poche pinch hitting for Jordy Hultberg. If he's any better, he might take Hultberg's place. Well, maybe I'll take a week off and you and Hultberg can do this.
There's a little more pressure to host the show. You're doing a great job.
Well, Hultberg can handle that. I mean, he's a TV guy.
Hey,
you know?
I'm here for the food.
But you know what? You're yet another New Orleans guy up
That's right.
here. Me and Hultberg, you.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a New Orleans thing, and we appreciate the folks in Lafayette and New Orleans that are watching Tigers Roar. 12th year we've been doing this. That's pretty cool. All right, also want to, Joe Burrow, we talked about it earlier, the graduate transfer from Ohio State, stepped in and he gets an A+ for everything he's done in the locker room, in the meeting room, on the practice field, and obviously in the games. He's done a super job. You know, Coach Orgeron, they came out of spring practice, he knew he had to go get a quarterback and a kicker. He went and got both, and they've both done a great job. So you got to give Orgeron credit for that too. Joe Burrow, I mean, what can we say?
I mean, we already talked about how he came over and won over the locker room. They had quarterbacks that were already here in the offseason. Joe Burrow, the quiet confidence. He's got the mentality of a linebacker, according to Coach O. That's how I raised my son to play the game. I got to love that. I mean, the guy would stick his nose, get the tough yardage. Not really a slider, but protecting himself pretty well. You know, he survived so far. Joe Burrow doing an outstanding job. Joe Cool.
And he said this week, if you're scared, don't come out of the locker room.
That's right. Yeah, I love that about him.
Here's an interview with Tiger quarterback Joe Burrow.
You know, I don't think I could really point out anything specific that I could bring from it, but I would say the experience probably does help me. But you have to kind of manage it like any other game, because if you don't, the game kind of gets too big for you.
How much have you heard about this game? I mean, even probably before you were recruited, right? In terms of looking for a guy at quarterback who's going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a dogfight. I remember watching, I mean, the one that stands out was the year that they played in the regular season, LSU beat them, and then they played in the national title, and Alabama beat them. That's the one that kind of stands out to me growing up, but, you know, it's a big game. It is every year.
How do you manage the game from your position? What do you want to try to accomplish?
You know, you kind of have to take a step back and just focus on execution, focus on the game plan, because if you don't, then you're going to try to do too much and you're going to make mistakes. So you kind of just lean on your coaches, lean on your teammates, focus on the game plan.
There are obviously a lot of other players involved in wins and losses than just the quarterbacks, but playing someone like Tua this week, who a lot of people see as a Heisman frontrunner, I mean, how much do you relish an opportunity just in the quarterback battle going into a game like this?
You know, you don't really focus on that. You just focus on what you need to do, and I'm not going to do anything more than I can. I'm just going to focus on executing the game plan that's put in front of me and doing just enough that I need to do to win the game.
What do you like about what you and Steve have been able to do this year as far as balancing the offense and taking your shots when they're there?
I thought we've executed well when we've needed to. There's been times that you've liked to have played better and have more yards or better stats, but we're 8-1, 7-1, and you can't complain about that, especially going into a game like this.
How's that relationship work? Take us through like the game.
Yeah, so we come in, watch the film on Monday, and then we talk about what I like in the red zone, what he likes in the red zone, what I like on third down. We kind of just bounce ideas off of each other. And then at the end of the week, I'll give him my top 5 in every situation, and he takes that into consideration.
I know you talked to, I think, to the print guys last week about being kind of a pre-pro athlete. You're taking online courses. Do you feel like this is what you wanted out of LSU, this preparation for moments like this?
Absolutely. This is so first off, this is the game that this is why you play football. And you're not going to win the game if you don't have time to prepare, if you don't have the ability to prepare. And I think my preparation is what has been able to allow me to be successful this year, what has allowed us to be successful this year.
Joe, obviously you guys have a great defense, but just from what we've seen so far from Alabama, it can be expected they're going to score some points. Do you have to keep yourself from, pushing to get more out of your own offense to keep pace?
Yeah, you kind of do. We'll figure out what this game needs of us, just like we do every game. Every game you calls for a different type of style to win the game, and we'll see what that is and play it kind of by ear.
Coach said that he's going to be depending on you to not only get your team out of bad plays, but also get them into good plays when you notice things up front. Does Alabama present some unique challenges that you've noticed and things that you've already put away mentally to prepare for them?
Yeah, I mean, they're very good on defense, and just like they are every year, but we've played styles of defense like them already. So we kind of have an idea of what to expect, but they're probably the fastest defense we've played all year, and it'll be a challenge.
When you see the way that expect Tiger Stadium's atmosphere to be like on Saturday?
I know the fans will bring it. They bring it every week, and I think they'll have a little more in store for this one.
When you see the way that Alabama's been scoring, do you go into a game, when you see the way that Alabama's been scoring this season, I mean, do you go into a game ever and feel like we've got to hit a certain number to be able to give ourselves a chance?
First off, I probably need just about every ticket in the stadium. Second, can you repeat it again?
Sure. When you see the way that Alabama's been scoring this year, whether it's this week or any previous week, I mean, do you ever go into a game feeling like we need a certain offensive score to be able to give ourselves a chance in this game?
You kind of keep it in the back of your mind, but you kind of just go into the game and try to execute early, see what they're giving you, what they're taking away, and if they're scoring a lot of points, obviously we need to step our game up and score a lot of points too.
Joe, we've seen since the first game, before the game, Miami, you weren't afraid to kind of assert yourself as a teammate, stick up for your guys and everything. And Coach has kind of said in so many words, you're not going to be timid. This is a big boy game and everything. Can you just talk about your demeanor and having that confidence?
I'm not scared of this game. I don't think any of our guys are scared of this game. This is the reason you play football. This is why you grow up working so hard for moments like this. And if you're timid, then don't come out of that locker room, because we're going to be ready to go.
Is execution the thing that Alabama does the best?
What was that?
Execution, is that what separates them from most teams?
I would say so. I think they're a lot like Georgia. They don't give up a lot of big plays. They kind of keep everything in front of them. They're very sound, very well coached, and they're going to present a big challenge.
X factor in some of these big games that you've been able to do that? How big do you think that could be Saturday?
You know, I'm not sure. You know, I'm willing to run in every game, but some teams haven't really called for me to run. They kind of take me away in the zone read game, and some teams have tried to make me run, and that's kind of, every team has a different game plan, so we'll see on Saturday.
Joe Burrow has certainly been one of the keys on the offensive side of the ball. Jonathan, one of the keys on the defensive side of the ball is Grant Delpit. This guy has made himself a lot of money. He's going to be a first-round draft choice. That play against Mississippi State when he missed the quarterback, hit the ground, bounced up, and then made the sack, that's NFL stuff all the way. Grant Delpit, we knew he was good.
Right.
But he has stepped it up a couple of notches. Here's Tiger safety and one of the best players in the country, Grant Delpit.
No, I think we have full faith in the guy that's going to step in. You know, whoever it might be, that he's going to, take over Devin's spot for the first half and hold his ground. So, my job hasn't changed.
Tua has yet to throw an interception so far this season. How bad do you want to get an interception against them?
We want to get it bad. We think that they haven't really played anybody like us yet. But Tua's a great quarterback. He doesn't make mistakes, obviously. So we'll see what he has in store.
Grant, he's been pretty comfortable back there.
Mm-hmm.
What role can you guys play? Playing clean,
right.
Kind of hitting him a little bit, and kind of, put some licks on him.
Yeah, just definitely putting pressure on the quarterback, making him uncomfortable, showing him a bunch of different looks. Definitely all messing with the quarterback head. So that's definitely one thing you want to do to get him to make a mistake. So, just trying to, show some disguises and show some pressure is definitely a big thing.
You think it makes a difference when Dave's got 2 weeks to prepare?
Yeah.
One when it comes to this matchup?
Yeah, I don't know what Coach Aranda does all day, but he's probably, sitting the whole bye week just in the office, just drawing up plays. So no, that's what he does. So I'm just excited to see what he has.
Grant, what do you see in their receivers, Jerry Jeudy especially?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some guys that really making plays for them.
They had a couple of receivers with a lot of yards, like leading the SEC. So they spread the ball around a lot. They try to get the ball in the hands of the guys that they know can make plays. So just trying to stop those big plays, trying to not limit those.
Would you have envisioned yourself having the season that you have this year? And I mean, going into the bye week, you're leading the nation in interceptions.
Right.
Would you have figured that it would have unfolded this way, this early on?
What I figured, I expect highly of myself, so. I would hope that I would have done that, but I feel like I'm not, we're not done yet. I'm not done yet, so, we got a couple more games to go. So, just trying to make the big plays when they come to you.
Do you feel like you can be a difference maker in a game like this where a lot of things seem to be even, your versatility and Dave's ability to use you differently to be a difference maker?
Right. I think this is a game where, big players make big-time plays in big-time games. So, this definitely be one of those games, make a name for yourself. You make big plays in this game, it shows a lot. Two great teams going at it, so it's going to be exciting.
Grant, I think they're averaging almost like 19 yards of completion, which is pretty unreal. What's the key to shutting down those deep passing routes?
Just shutting down one phase of the offense, like, say stopping the run. You can focus on, limiting big plays in the passing game. So just trying to play sound as a defense. We're going to go and prepare like we do for any other week. Just be, technically sound, know our jobs, and I think we should be fine.
I'm sure you've seen some of the film. Tua's looked off a lot of those safeties and made some big throws going back to the national championship.
Yeah, I saw that last year.
What do you think when you see that as a safety when you go back and watch that film?
He does a good job of using his eyes, looking safeties off. But I just think that we have, some good guys in the back end too. So, we can mess with him a little bit. I'm excited to play that chess match.
What's the key to, staying disciplined when he does, try and look you off, to get those deep crossing routes or post patterns?
Definitely just knowing like what routes are going to come behind it. His eyes are going to lie, but the film is going to tell the truth. So if the routes is going to come behind it, you shouldn't have a problem.
Thanks, Grant.
we continue with Tigers Roar, final segment here at Scoreboards. Jonathan Poche with me, Tommy Krysan. LSU's got a few things to do the rest of the week to get ready for the game, and they want to peak, as Coach O said, Saturday night at 7. Jonathan, the excitement's going to build. It's going to be as good as it gets. It's going to be incredible college football.
This is why you come to LSU. This is why you go to Bama. I mean, this matchup is for all the marbles. 1 versus 3 in the college football rankings, but really this is for the whole shebang. In my opinion, if a team is going to knock off Alabama, it is going to be this battle-tested LSU team at home.
No question about it. So if you're not heading out to the campus, you're not going to the game, be sure to be here at Scoreboards. There'll be a watch party here at Scoreboards. The game will be on, the volume will be up, the big video wall right behind us. They'll have all those special stuff going on, happy hour prices, the whole bit. And then come back Sunday and watch the Saints and the Rams. But LSU, Alabama, as you said, Jonathan, it's what these kids dream about doing. Coaches dream about coaching in a game like this. Well, they're getting the opportunity, and you, the fans, you need to enjoy what's happening here this coming weekend at Tiger Stadium, because it may be a long time before it happens again.
A lot of NFL talent will be on the field for both sides. Guys you'll see in the league for years to come, so definitely soak it in, enjoy it. Hey, who knows, we'll see this again, really. I mean, outstanding job for LSU to get to this point. Now it's time to take care of business. This is what Coach O is here for. Time to get it done, Tigers.
Make it happen at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. We'll be there with the Pelican Sports post-game show right after. Radio, TV, Facebook Live. We're doing it immediately following the game with your phone calls and your text messages. All right, on behalf of the entire crew here at Scoreboards, the entire crew at Pelican Broadcasting, including Caleb in the truck, Jonathan Poche filling in for Jordy Hulbert, I'm Tommy Krysan. Spread the roar. Have fun Saturday night. You've been watching Tigers Roar.
It's time to find out the truth about health insurance.
True or false? I can't get health insurance because I missed the open enrollment period. False.
If you had a life change, such as moving, getting married, having a child, or a job loss, you are eligible to buy a new policy.
I don't have a life-changing event, so I can't get health insurance. False.
You can purchase affordable short-term policies even if it's not open enrollment.
I have to spend hours shopping around for an insurance policy that's right for me. False.
Call Healthcare will connect you with licensed agents that do the work for you, comparing hundreds of options, making sure you get a policy that fits all your needs at the best price.
Call now and we'll connect you to a licensed agent that will answer all your questions. The call and the service are free, so what are you waiting for?
Call Healthcare, getting the coverage you need at a price you can afford. Call now. Representatives are standing by to assist you.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.